Hi everyone, welcome to Carmen's Australian Storytime. Today I'm about to rob my bees. I think it's about 34 degrees at the moment, so it's going to be very hot. So I thought I better do my story reading before I do my harvesting of honey today. And my mum, my beautiful mum, she went to the ginger factory and bought me this book. Lovely, a story about a stingless bee. Now, I don't know if you know this, but a stingless bee is a native bee. European bees have stingers on them, but native bees don't. And it's written by Melissa Ballantyne and illustrated by Deanna Bresnahan. I hope I said that right. Let's see what the blurb has to say. Follow the journey of Lovely the stingless bee and discover the wonders and workings of our Australian native bees. I love the illustrations. My mum is very good at picking books for me with the illustrations that I like. She likes the same ones. This is a story about a little bee named Lovely. Lovely is a stingless bee. Sometimes she is called bush bee or sugarbag bee. Bee experts call her by her species Tetragonula carbonaria. She sounds like a pasta. Lovely is a little black bee, even though she is only 4 millimeters long. That's about very tiny, very tiny. She is strong and active. Lovely can fly up to 500 meters to forage for food. Lovely is attracted to flowers by colour and smell. She really likes the colours blue, purple, white and yellow. So if you want native bees, that's the kind of flowers you need to plant. Bees like Lovely are found along the coast of New South Wales and Queensland in Australia. So all along here, and this is where we live here. Stingless bees are naturally found in bushland, in hollow logs and trees. Sometimes stingless bees can make a new colony in a water meter box and other unusual spots. Lovely lives in a box called a hive. Lovely lives in the hive with thousands of her sisters and hundreds of her brothers and her mother, the queen. The queen has a larger abdomen with stripes. This is the queen here. She's a little bit bigger and she's a little bit fancier because queens are a little bit fancy. All the workers are female and the drones are male, which is why there's more sisters than there are brothers. Lovely is a worker bee. The bees live and work inside the hive for most of their life. All the bees have different jobs. The workers construct a nursery area called a brood chamber where the queen can lay the eggs. The brood chamber is made out of propolis, which is a mixture of beeswax and plant resin, which is why they have to go and gather it from the plants. The worker bees make tiny, intricate cells that form a spiral pattern. A special type of worker bee called a nurse bee prepare and inspect the tiny brood cells. So they're like when you have a baby in the hospital and the nurses come around and check. She places special brood food into each cell. The queen lays one egg into each cell and the workers then cap the cell, protecting the egg inside. The queen can lay about 300 eggs in a single day. Queen bees, like Lovely's mother, grow in larger brood cells called queen cells. These cells are built on the outside rim of the brood chamber. When these cells hatch, the princess bee emerges. Princess bees are slightly larger than the worker bees and do not have pollen baskets, as looking for food is not their job. That's for the boys to do. And they have baskets on their legs that they carry the pollen in. So cute. When a new queen is needed, one of the many princesses within the hive is selected. The chosen princess will leave the hive and mate with a drone from another colony. Once she has mated, she'll return to the hive as the new queen. Like all queens, Lovely's new queen will remain in the hive and will never leave the hive again. Lovely is not a princess and she has lots of work to do. Lovely's life begins as a teeny tiny egg in the brood chamber. It takes her 50 days to change from an egg to larva to pupa and finally into a bee. A newly emerged adult bee is called a callow. When Lovely was a callow, she was white, but within a few days she becomes darker, like her siblings. So see here, the egg, the larva, the pupa, and then the callow. Here's the adult emerging. As Lovely grows older, she does different jobs within the hive, constructing brood cells, feeding young bees, making beeswax, guarding the entrance of the hive, janitorial duties, and keeping the hive clean. So janitors, they keep the hive clean. Lovely's last job is very important. She needs to collect pollen and nectar from the flowers and resin from the plants. Resin is the sticky see-through substance that plants make, and bees use resin like glue. And yes, it is very sticky. Pretty much every time I leave the hive, I'm always sticky. Leaving the hive for the first time can be a bit scary and daunting. When Lovely exits the hive for the first time, she will fly backwards, up and down, side to side, taking in all her surroundings and memorizing the landscape. It's like she's got a GPS in her brain that she's tracking everything so she can remember how to get back. This is Lovely's orientation flight and how she will be able to find her way home again after foraging. When Lovely lands on a flower, pollen sticks to her body. Each time Lovely visits a flower, she is spreading pollen from flower to flower. This process that allows plants to reproduce is called pollination. When Lovely visits a flower, she collects pollen. She rolls and squishes it into a ball. Lovely carries the pollen back in her pollen baskets on her hind legs. Also, if the girls do it too. Sorry, I think I said the boys only do it, but the girls do it too. The drones are the protectors. To reach the sugary liquid called nectar from the flowers, Lovely will use her tongue like a straw and suck up the tasty treat. The nectar is swallowed and stored in Lovely's crop, which is in her abdomen. Lovely brings the nectar back to the hive and gives it to her sister. Her sister uses her mandibles, tongue, and fans her wings to transform the nectar into honey. It's pretty amazing. The bees then store the little drop of delicious sugar bag honey into the honey pots for later use. So the honey pots are the cells, and that's what I crack open to get the honey back out. If it's raining or cold outside the hive, Lovely and her sisters will stay inside and do other duties like cleaning the hive. Only when the temperature reaches 18 degrees will the foraging bees pop their heads out of the hive to collect food. Yeah, they run on about the same temperature as us. We actually don't like leaving our homes unless it's above 18 degrees too. When it starts to drop, we don't like going out unless we're all rugged up and warm. But they don't have a big clothes cupboard in the hive to put clothes on. When the outside temperature is hot and humid, you may see Lovely and her sister outside the hive. They will be in lines, fanning their wings to draw the cool air into the hive. I see that a lot during summer. How you can help native bees. Our native bees are special and unique, and they need your help. Watch out for spider webs that are directly in front of the hive's flight path. The hungry spider will have a feast on them. Spraying chemicals in our backyards and parklands will kill bees and other pollinators. Bees forage on all types of flowers, including weeds, which is why I tell my husband, don't mow the grass, leave it for the bees, we'll mow it in a little while. Mass land clearing destroys natural habitats for bees and other wildlife. Through education and awareness, planting trees and flowers reduces our footprint on Mother Earth. We can protect and preserve Lovely and her bee friends. Stingless bees are so beautiful, funny, and interesting to watch. Have you seen Lovely in your garden? I bet you have. And here is a picture of Lovely and all of the parts. So here's the antennae, and it's in 10 segments. Here's the head. Here's the thorax, the abdomen, the wings, and the pollen basket. And this is called a glossary, and it tells us what each of the words in the book means. So in my book number 2, we'll explore those words and what those words mean. Can you read some of those words? They might be pretty tricky. This one I think you could figure out. Beeswax. And that's what the bees produce from their glands. And I turn that into amazing furniture polish for my timber at home. So the glossary goes for quite a few pages. But a glossary is wonderful. If you can't figure out what the word is, just flick to the back and it will tell you what it means. And there's the author and the illustrator. What a wonderful book. You can get this book from the Ginger Factory, so make sure you give it a visit. And if you would like to have your own hive of native bees and have lovely family of bees buzzing around your backyard, you can visit www.sydneystinglessbees.com.au. Because when I need a new bee, my bees come. I live at Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast, and my bees fly up from Caboolture. I order them from there. So they come in the mail, in a little box. Thank you for joining me on Carmen's Australian Storytime. I hope you enjoyed reading all about Lovely, the native bee, and I look forward to reading to you again soon. Bye for now. Oh, don't forget to click and subscribe.